Thermopylae Pass, 480 BC. Under the merciless heat of August, King Leonidas stares at the envoy standing before him. The representative of the Persian Empire speaks politely, but with a clear threat. "Lay down your weapons." Leonidas answers with just 2 words. "Molon labe." Come and take them. For 3 days, 300 Spartan warriors and a few thousand Greek allies hold back the largest army the world had ever seen in a narrow mountain pass. Wave after wave, the Persians attack. The Spartans stand like a wall. The bodies pile up, clogging the passage. Eventually, a traitor shows the Persians a hidden mountain path. Realizing they are about to be surrounded, Leonidas sends the allies away. The Spartans stay, because a Spartan does not retreat. They fight until the last man falls. When the Persian Emperor Xerxes finds Leonidas's body, he is so enraged that he orders the king's head cut off and placed on a spike. But there is one problem. Sparta will turn that fearless death into a weapon of propaganda. And in the end, Xerxes will leave Greece with nothing. So how did 300 men find the courage to challenge an empire? The answer is simple. Because they had been trained to die from the day they were born. But this is not the beginning of the story. The story of Sparta is the story of how a city became a military machine, how a culture turned into a culture of war, and how a people became the most feared warrior society in history. To understand this, we must go back centuries earlier. Let's go back to around 1200 BC. The Bronze Age collapses. Civilizations turn to dust. Mycenaean palaces burn. Greece enters a dark age. In this chaos, the Dorian tribes move south. They are harsh, warlike nomads. They settle in the Peloponnese, enslaving or expelling the local population. Sparta is founded in the valley of the Eurotas River, surrounded by mountains and fertile plains. The geography is perfect. Mountains for defense, plains for agriculture, and far enough from the sea to avoid easy invasion. In its early centuries, Sparta is like other Greek city-states. It has kings, nobles, farmers, a normal polis. But in the 8th century BC, something changes. Sparta's population grows, but its land does not. The solution? Conquest. They invade Messenia, the fertile region to the west. The First Messenian War lasts nearly 20 years, and Sparta wins. But conquest comes at a cost. Now there are thousands of Messenians, far more numerous than the Spartans themselves. These people become Helots, state-owned serfs who work the fields and feed Sparta, and they carry constant potential for rebellion. Around 650 BC, the nightmare becomes reality. The Second Messenian War erupts. The Helots rise up and nearly destroy Sparta. The war lasts another 20 years, and Sparta barely survives. This trauma changes Sparta forever. The Spartans realize something crucial. Winning wars is not enough. You must always be ready for war, because the enemy lives inside your home. So Spartan makes a radical decision. It will turn its entire society into a military machine. By the late 7th century BC, tradition says a lawgiver named Lycurgus redesigned Sparta's entire social system. Historians aren't sure whether he truly existed, but that doesn't matter. Someone created the system, and the system is terrifyingly simple. Everything is subordinated to military power. At the top are the Spartiates, full citizens, professional warriors. They are a small minority, perhaps only 10% of the population. They fight, they govern, they rule, they do nothing else. Below them are the Perioikoi, free people, but not citizens. They trade, craft goods, and produce weapons for the Spartans. They may fight as auxiliary troops. At the bottom are the Helots, state-owned slaves. They work the land and feed the Spartan warriors. Every year, Sparta formally declares war on them. So killing a Helot is not murder, it is an act of war. Yes, Sparta officially declared war on its own slaves every year. Here, Sparta is radically different from other Greek cities. Spartan women train physically. They run, wrestle, and exercise. Why? Because strong mothers produce strong warriors. They can own property. While men are at war, women manage estates. A significant portion of Spartan land is owned by women. They speak freely. They express political opinions. In most Greek cities, women are nearly invisible. In Sparta, they are respected. A Spartan mother sends her son to war with these words: "Come back with your shield, or on it, victory or death. No retreat." Sparta's political system is complex and carefully balanced. There are two kings. If one falls, the other remains. They command armies but do not rule absolutely. The Gerousia, a council of elders over 60, proposes laws. The Apella, the assembly of citizens, approves them without debate. They vote by shouting, and the ephors, 5 officials elected annually, oversee everything. They can even hold kings accountable. No single person can seize absolute power. Sparta is not a dictatorship. It is a military oligarchy. When a Spartan boy turns 7, he is taken from his family and placed in state barracks. What begins there is not childhood. It is survival training. Food is minimal. The boys are encouraged to steal to survive. If they are caught, they are beaten. Not for stealing, but for getting caught. They walk barefoot, even in winter. They are hardened. They fight constantly. They fight each other, in groups, in organized violence. The strong survive and learn leadership. The weak either adapt or disappear. Then there is the Cryptia. At 18, the best youths are sent on secret missions. At night, they roam Helot villages, killing those who seem strong, intelligent, or dangerous. This is psychological warfare and state terror. At 20, a Spartan man becomes a full warrior, but he does not go home. Until the age of 30, he lives in barracks and eats in communal mess halls called syssitia. Family is secondary. The army is life. At 30, he may marry, but military duty continues. Service lasts until the age of 60. By the 6th century BC, Sparta is the most feared military power in Greece. No city dares to challenge it. Spartan hoplites, heavy infantry, are legendary. Red cloaks, bronze helmets, shields marked with the lambda of Lacedaemon. Their phalanx is flawless, their discipline absolute. Sparta leads much of Greece through alliances, forming the Peloponnesian League. Allies provide troops. Sparta provides protection, but Sparta refuses expansion. More land means more Helots, and more rebellion. Security matters more than empire. Then comes the greatest threat of all, the Persian Empire. In 490 BC, the Persians invade Greece. Athens asks Sparta for help. Sparta is willing, but a religious festival forbids immediate action. Athens fights alone at Marathon and wins. In 480 BC, Xerxes returns with a massive army. Greek city-states unite. Sparta takes command. Thermopylae is a defeat, but a propaganda victory. The message is clear. Sparta does not retreat. Sparta dies. The Persians break through but are crushed at Salamis. The following year, at Plataea, a Greek army led by the Spartan general Pausanias defeats the Persians decisively. Sparta becomes the savior of Greece. After the war, Athens and Sparta follow different paths. Athens builds a naval empire, grows rich, and becomes the center of democracy, philosophy, art, and theater. Sparta does not change. Two systems, two rivals. War is inevitable. In 431 BC, the Peloponnesian War begins. Land power versus sea power. It will last 27 years. Plague devastates Athens. Even so, it refuses to surrender. In 425 BC, Spartans are captured at Sphacteria. They surrender, something previously unthinkable. The myth cracks. Sparta seeks peace. Athens refuses. Eventually, Sparta turns to Persia for money. With Persian gold, the admiral Lysander builds a fleet. In 405 BC, Athens' navy is destroyed at Aegospotami. In 404 BC, Athens surrenders. Sparta wins. But ruling is harder than fighting. Sparta imposes oligarchies and garrisons across Greece. Former allies revolt. In 371 BC, at Leuctra, the Theban general Epaminondas shatters the Spartan phalanx. 400 Spartiates are killed, a catastrophic loss. Their numbers had been shrinking for years. Land concentrated in elite families. The poor could no longer qualify for citizenship. Sparta becomes the victim of its own system. In 370 BC, Messenia is liberated. The Helots are freed. Sparta's economic foundation collapses. Within a generation, Sparta becomes a second-rate power. Macedon rises. Philip II conquers Greece. Sparta refuses to submit, but poses no real threat. Reforms fail. Rome arrives. Sparta becomes a tourist attraction, a living museum of discipline. In 396 AD, the city is destroyed. Sparta ends. It existed for 1,000 years, but its true power lasted only 2 or 3 centuries. Its strength created its downfall. Sparta left no philosophy, no literature, no art, only legend. Athens fell, but left Plato, Aristotle, democracy, and tragedy. Sparta fell, and left a warning. Perfect warriors, a brutal society, an unforgettable myth. Sparta's story ends here, but its spirit lives on. Every time Molon Labe is spoken, every time an impossible stand is remembered. Because Sparta proved one thing: 300 men can change history, but no city can survive forever by war alone.